All right, welcome in everyone to the Gamer University Open number 2. Going to be kicking it off with Root Gaming taking on Epidemic. I am Fireflash from Gamer University. I just want to say thanks to Dota Live's Harry for coming in and co-casting with us today. And we just want to thank Twitch TV as well for their sponsorships and everything. We're going to kick this game off, like I said, between Root Gaming and Epidemic. And big thanks to Dota Live for stopping in today to co-cast with us.
No problem. It's good to be here. Always fun to cast some Dota, and pretty good teams here, so should be a very exciting game to watch and commentate.
All right, let's check if our teams are ready, and we'll get this game started.
Yeah, seems good.
Okay. And here we go.
So, personally, I've seen Epidemic before. I don't really know too much about Root Gaming. Do you have any background on them, or?
Yeah, Root was a team that was picked up by Paulo Viscara, who's the owner of Root Gaming, mainly through StarCraft 2. What that is Blitz's team that he's picked up. Blitz, an avid streamer on Twitch TV. You can find him on there almost every single day. But it's a team that he put together, and they're still up and coming, and it's going to be just a great team. They haven't had any big tournament wins or anything yet, so this is definitely a chance to prove themselves here on the stream against Epidemic. And they have a relatively easy bottom bracket. I think Bottom was one of the big teams down there to deal with, but it's going to be interesting to see if Root, with the help of Betas, can pull this off.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I didn't pay attention. I knew that Blitz was on this team, but I didn't realize Betas was playing for them now, too. Betas had kind of jumped around a little bit ever since leaving its Gosu, or, well, since not necessarily leaving its Gosu, but everything that happened with its Gosu, so it's good to see him on another team again.
Most definitely. Yeah, Beta is one of the biggest free agents in the Dota 2 scene right now. I talked with him a little bit about picking up a new team with the fact that its Gosu had broken up, but he said he just really didn't have the time to play competitive and really give it his all, so he mainly does stand-ins and everything. I don't know if he actually got picked up by Root as of yet. I do know that Blitz told me they picked up 2 new players last night, so Betas possibly could be one of those, and I'll get that information a little bit later on. Just waiting for Jester to load in, and we'll get the first ban and pick phase done here between Root and Epidemic for the Gamer University Open number 2.
Yeah, I guess while we have a chance, my Dota Live people will be pretty happy if I say something. So anyway, for those that are watching, if you like anything that I do, you're welcome to check out dotalive.net and all the corresponding Twitter and Facebook nonsense.
Yeah, also, if anyone wants to watch, we have another stream going on. It's twitch.tv/DotaLive, correct?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, they're gonna be following the top half of the bracket as well. We're gonna be intertwining back and forth. But it looks like Sasha did disconnect at the moment, so we're going to have to see what we can do here. Maybe get a remake, but try to get probably the ban and pick phase done first.
Huh. Yeah, the picking screen just disappeared for me, so I guess I should just restart Dota. Because it did this weird zoom in after the person disconnected, and I can't bring up the picks. Yeah, just going to restart then.
Yeah. Alright, just waiting on Jester to get back in and we'll get the game started.
Alright, I'm just reconnecting myself right now as well. Well, I guess it's technically not beta anymore, so I can't say, well, it's beta, you expect these sort of things, but it's kind of like an in-between. It's like limbo between beta and not, so still these things happen, I guess.
Yep. So let's hear it out there. Who's going to win? Is it going to be Root or is it going to be Epidemic? I know we have a bunch of Root fans out there as well.
Okay, well, let's see. And back in. Sorry about that.
No problem. Alright, checking if our teams are ready again, and we'll get this one started. Alright, looks like both teams are ready, so here we go, back into the game.
Always works the second time, right? Right?
Yep. This stupid thing. Hang on, I gotta redo the lobby. It bugged.
Oh, really?
Alright, same password.
Okay.
Bounce.
Alright, both teams are ready, so let's get back into it now.
Yeah, third time's the charm.
Exactly. Always got to be some type of bug or something that goes wrong with Valve or Dota when everyone's running tournaments. We see it all the time with Join Dota Masters and everything else. But alright, looks like we are in, so I'm going to pause the music and get the band pick phase up.
Yeah, so Rubik is still out of CM, but all the other heroes, I assume, are unbanned in this tournament?
Yes, correct. Everything is free open, so we might see some Chaos Knight. This is Root Gaming taking on Epidemic for Gamer University Open number 2. Looking at right now, we see Leshrek and Darkseer band coming out by B-Diz on the Root side, as well as a Nature's Prophet Invoker for Epidemic at the moment. So we may see some Chaos Knight play here coming up very soon.
Yeah, the other hero who still hasn't been banned yet is Lycan, although I imagine Root's just leaving that for a third ban for Epidemic. Be interested to see what Root's last ban here is, whether it's something like Panda or it is the aforementioned Chaos Knight, even other possibilities like Windrunner Tide. No, actually they're just going to ban the Lycan themselves, not even going to leave it to Epidemic to ban.
And there's the Chaos Knight.
Yeah, well, that's kind of unfortunate, although I can't really complain. I'm not a huge fan of Chaos Knight. He's really fun to watch, but he's extremely annoying to play against with that random stun, so I don't really feel too bad for the other team now.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at the bans right now, who do you think Root's going to actually pick up here in this match?
For the first pick, it's really tough at this point. Most of the standard first pick heroes are kind of out. I mean, Windrunner's a pretty viable first pick just because she's flexible, but no, I guess they're going to go for the Chen, so they're going to just, go for it.
Yeah, we've seen Blitz play a lot, the Leshrek and the Storm Spirits. A lot of people saying that he's one of the best Storm Spirits behind like Korok at the moment. So we're going to have to see if Storm Spirit is picked up by Root Gaming. Epidemic going with the Queen of Pain first pick, though.
Yeah, I mean, Queen of Pain's a lot of burst damage, and burst damage is kind of the way you counteract healing, because if you can burst heroes down quickly before they can get heals off, then kind of counteracts the effectiveness of something like Chen. And then Crystal Maiden, the most obvious support against hero who takes creeps, because the AoE slow is really effective against the creeps, and the freeze obviously lasts for full duration.
Yeah, I was either thinking it was going to be either Chen or Enchantress picked up by Root Gaming, but we saw the Chen. Definitely a viable hero later on in the game. You have that early pushing power. You have the heal, especially if he gets mech and mana boots. Definitely a great support hero, and a hero that you need to watch out early on with those smoke ganks as well.
Yeah, it's just kind of tough to tell sometimes. Chen's can sort of be an all-in hero, I mean, but it really depends how you sort of set it up. Not as all-in-y as Enchantress is early on. I mean, you don't really have to do as much with the Chen just because he's so strong even in the mid-game with being able to continuously push to heal and the TP back, obviously. So we'll have to see if they do go with something like you were talking about with that Storm, because Storm, once he gets, if he can manage to pick up like Bloodstone travels, being able to TP him back is just so effective.
So Beastmaster Shadow Demon coming out for Root Gaming now, and Shadow Demon definitely one of the best supports out there as well right now for setting up those early ganks. We've seen a lot of people do the Shadow Demon, Sand King, Leshrek lanes, and it's very, very powerful with like an Invoker mid. But Beastmaster are going to be picked up as well, so it's going to give them early map presence with the Hawk and the Boar around the map, and definitely initiation there with the Roar.
Yeah, and they have great counter initiation too now. If Queen of Pain blinks in on someone, they can immediately disruption the hero that gets blinked in on, prevent him from getting bursted down, and give Chen time to heal that person back up or TP out. So it makes a lot of sense as a kind of counter initiation to something like Queen of Pain. And then there's that Lone Druid, which guarantees that this is going to be a rather uninteresting game.
Yeah. Enigma ban now coming out for Root Gaming. They don't want any of the black hole nonsense and trying to take out as many junglers as they can right now to really separate the lanes for Epidemic at the moment.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they don't ban the Enchantress. Maybe that will be the last ban. Generally speaking, if you have Chen, you don't really want to go up against Enchantress because you'd rather actually have that jungle advantage that you're talking about. And with Enchantress still in there, it's certainly a distinct possibility. I mean, with a lone Druid team, it would be possible, although not maybe as likely as usual. It looks like Epidemic maybe wants to go for something a little more farm-oriented than an Enchantress pick, so...
Yeah, and we saw Root disbanding Tidehunter there, and the Broodmother ban coming out by Epidemic. So, I mean, Root definitely trying to shut down any type of team fight against them. We may see them pick up that Sand King to actually give them the advantage in the team fights later on. But the Broodmother ban coming out, very, very heavy push. The Brewmaster pickup coming in from Root Gaming now.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a signal that they're going all in on the push. I mean, not that they're all in the sense that they can't win a late game, but it really signifies that they want to be able to force team fights as much as possible. I mean, when you have Chen, it's clear that you want to, force team fight pushes, and when you have a Panda, it means you want to try to win team fights, or you want to try to be able to fight 4 versus 5, which would be something you would do if you're going to pick up the Brood, but since Brood's out of there, it's less likely. It's possible there would still be something like Mirana, but not necessarily a distinct possibility.
Exactly. So I'm trying to think what Epidemic will kind of try to do here. We may see them take some type of counter push here to manage with this, but with the Queen of Pain, the lone Druid, it's very very interesting to see like what they're going to go here with this.
Yeah, I think with those two heroes that you just mentioned, they do have a fair amount of counter push. At this point, they really just need the anti-push. They need something to, they have split push in the sense of counter push in those two heroes. Yeah, they need stuff to stop push, anti-push. Things like your Beastmaster, actually. Windrunner would actually still be a pretty decent pick here, although they don't really have necessarily the lane set up for it, because you want the Lone Druid and the Queen of Pain both to solo. Although you could still put the Windrunner in support, which isn't really optimal, but still possible.
Exactly. We've even seen the Windrunner mid recently, but I mean, with the Queen of Pain, we're going to have to guess that she's probably going to be going up against the Brewmaster or Beastmaster mid.
Yeah, do you think there's a possibility of setting up, I mean, with the heroes they have right now for Root, they could put the Panda with the Shadow Demon, actually, in the mid, and then, put that Beastmaster in Sacrifice lane, maybe, and then some sort of another solo bottom. And, wow, Vengeful Spirit. So, going to go for the dual roam, or maybe a sort of Vengeful Spirit mid strategy? I don't really know.
Yeah, it gives them a little bit more of the initiation there, being able to swap someone out, stun them, have the bear, maybe get an entangle, or just be able to burst down one specific hero really quickly with the swap. And I mean, it's interesting pickup there, and it's going to give them the aura as well for that bear.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're still really lacking on being able to nuke down creep waves quickly. I mean, Queen of Pain can nuke down creep waves, but she has to be next to them until she has Aghanims, which Aghanim's obviously going to be a long way off compared to how quickly these pushes are going to come out from Root. So they're still going to have a lot of trouble actually taking care of a big creep wave that Root is certainly going to be trying to put them up against.
I was expecting to see something like a Death Prophet or something picked up there, but with the type of lane management they have, I don't know where they would actually lane the Death Prophet like correctly. But I mean, something counter push like you're saying is what I would expect from Epidemic. But we'll have to see what they do with their last pickup here.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how Root signifies they want to set up their lanes too. I mean, Panda can certainly solo, so they can still pick up some sort of a semi-carry-ish hero if they want to go with the Shadow Demon, or even, some sort of a... I mean, they have initiation in the form of the Panda, but they could even go with another initiator like the Sand King, although that really just almost too much melee, so I'd expect some sort of a ranged damage dealer at this point.
Yeah, we will have to see. Cutting into their bonus time now down to 30 seconds is Root Gaming.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe they would consider even going with something like, I don't know, Razor. Razor would be interesting here, to say the least. It doesn't work exceedingly well. No, it is just the Mirana.
So Mirana pick up there. I was actually thinking maybe even the Sand King just to have the team fight, but Mirana is going to be the pick up there. They gave him that typical hard carry just in case Brewmaster gets shut down. They have the Mirana to fall back on.
Yeah, I mean, and it just gives them another sort of kind of initiation. I mean, if they can land an arrow, it's a good signal for them to go in and try to take someone out. So it functions in a lot of methods for their team. And if a fight goes poorly, obviously I would expect the Mirana to pick up the Invis pretty early on to try to bail them out if they start to lose a fight on a push, Panda ult runs out or something like that. So there's certainly synergy in that regard.
Reserve time.
And then, just the last pick for Epidemic here, and I would have to assume that it's going to be some sort of a counter push hero. It's really got to be at this point, otherwise they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Oh, we're gonna see in 10 seconds. It is Death Prophet.
There's the Death Prophet.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have the counter push. It's all about where they're gonna lane now. I mean, do they tri lane the lone druid? I've seen that done many times before. Or do we have the vengeful roaming? And
I would guess that they're going to tri-lane the Death Prophet probably up top, and then just kind of roam the Vengeful and the CM together. Since Death Prophet, I mean, Death Prophet kind of needs levels, but she also really needs farm more so. And the Lone Druid can handle the bottom lane pretty effectively, being able to creep skip with his bear. So I would assume that's what they're going to do. Also, the Death Prophet works well for them because they really needed a team fight hero as well as an anti-push hero, and I mean that's what Death Prophet's really good at. So
exactly. So going to be getting into the game now, and going to take a look at the lineups here. For Root Gaming, we have Blitz on the Mirana, B-Diz on the Chen, Korea playing the Brewmaster, and Ethereum playing the Shadow Demon. If you want to go ahead and take over Epidemic.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, on Epidemic, Sasha will be playing the Vengeful Spirit, Kaleo on Queen of Pain, Astro playing the Death Prophet, Confuse, Lone Druid, and Jester on that Crystal Maiden.
So looking at it right now, we see double mid right now it's going to be Chen, Mirana mid right now, with the Beastmaster in top, and at bottom lane we got Ethereum and Korea playing that Shadow Demon Brewmaster like you called.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit surprised that it's not mid. Mid's just such a great lane for Brewmaster because he has such a short distance to run, especially if he can pick up early boots. He can easily close the distance with something like a Shadow Demon. But since they have the Chen here, this is going to make it easier for them to push once that siege creep comes out. And yeah, what is more surprising to me is it looks like there going to be a dual lane with the CM in the mid, or they're going to put the CM up top with the VS once they place down this ward.
Yeah, she may just be warding at the moment. But top right now we see the Vengeful Spirit co-op. Mid right now at Crystal Maiden and Death Prophet, and bottom lane we just see the Lone Druid.
Yeah, he is going to try to go grab that creep wave with his bear. I'm kind of surprised that Root isn't trying to deny this a little bit more actively. I mean, they're trying to set up to gank, basically, if someone came into their woods here, but they kind of have to expect this bear to come first. I mean, the creep skipping with the bear on the bottom lane for the Dire, or top lane for the Radiant, is pretty standard, so I'm surprised that they didn't just kind of set up all three there and try to kill the bear, especially because at that point their lanes were pretty obvious.
So Crystal Maiden is going to stay mid. Nope, she's going to rotate top. The ward has been placed down. And she's just going all over the place now. Case being picked up by Brewmaster bottom, though.
Yeah, and the bear, Lone Druid himself, actually, is standing all the way back at base still. I guess he was trying to creep block the next wave, but then decided, no, I'm just going to come down here. Or maybe it doesn't really matter since he wasn't going to get the creeps to the tower that quickly anyway. Interesting that he did end up deciding to bring the creeps to the tower rather than holding them out front of the tower and bringing them to his creep wave when it arrived. I kind of prefer to see it done the other way because then he kind of gets a more sustainable lane, whereas here the creeps are just going to die and he's going to be back in the same position he would normally be in a sacrifice lane, which is away from the creeps.
Yep. So Chen just pulling and stacking right now. Ethereum doing what he can, just trying to give Brewmaster the solo experience here against the Lone Druid. Top, Vengeful Spirit and Queen of Pain are going to be laning against that Brewmaster. They did ward the Ancients, so Beastmaster cannot stack that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, actually, the mid, Mirana was getting a lot of farm. She did a really good job actually blocking her lane, had good control over it, playing back on her hill. But then the Chen came and brought the Wildkin in, which actually tornadoed. And
Arrow coming down on Crystal Maiden with the help of that tornado. Blitz going to pick up first blood, and he'll be able to leap and get out of there just in case.
Yeah, he actually picked up a second level and leap, just to be certain there. A bit unusual to go 2 levels leap early on, but I guess he figures he's facing a dual lane, so having... Oh, and meanwhile, we missed a kill bottom.
Yep, Chen coming in with the help of Shadow Demon and Brewmaster. Korea picking up the kill on Confuse, that Lone Druid. But definitely with that Chen, he used the War Chief, Wildkin War Chief with that tornado, was able to get him a little bit low, and Blitz able to pick up that arrow kill.
Yeah, I was going to say I wasn't so sure about that decision to use the tornado in the first place because he had lane control. He had it up on his hill, and it wasn't actually tanking tower damage, so he would have been able to keep it there for 1 or 2 more waves easily. I didn't really need the tornado to push back the 2 so much because he could have farmed from his tower, but it sure proved effective since he was able to land an arrow. So I guess he knew what Blitz is capable of more than I did, and that was just really good play by both of them. But what do you think about the second level in Leap rather than getting more points in Starstorm early on?
I think it's just like a personal preference by the Mirana. I mean, the Starstorm's good for damage, but he needs to be able to just get out just in case with the help of, like, he has that Crystal Maiden and Death Prophet, they're very nuke heavy early on, so if things get serious, he needs to be able to get in and out of the fight. So, I mean, it could just be preference for this match. Freeze coming in, though, by Crystal Maiden there, and Blitz will just have to retreat to the tower.
Yeah, he does have Salve still and the double damage bottled, so he should be just fine. He's actually, looks like, I would expect him to just use the double damage to farm, but looks like he wants to try to set up another kill. Maybe he's going to wait for the Chen for some sort of rotation here, or maybe just another Tornado before popping that double damage. Actually, he could just use it right here. No. He could have actually potentially just thrown an arrow right into the Crystal Maiden there, activated the double damage, and possibly gotten a kill, but deciding to just play it a little bit more safe.
Yep, DDX at the top lane right now, three creep kills only. Vengeful Spirit and Quap doing a very nice job trying to deny him as much as he can. That's basically your throwaway lane in this case, and he's just going to get level 6, level up. He normally would stack the ancient camp, but it was blocked. Beat is coming in though with the net on mid. Ethereum coming in as well. Gonna see Blitz almost go down. The leap comes in, very nice job there, able to dodge that. Blitz almost about to go down, the arrow hits, and it's going to be 2 kills for 1 there for Root Gaming.
Yeah, nice arrow by Blitz, but I think if he just tried to run away there, he would have actually been fine, regardless. A good gank coming out from Root. Putting the pressure on Epidemic very early here, and considering pushing here, but the quick TP back and level 2 nuke from the Death Prophet is going to discourage that. Even though they do have the catapult, I'm kind of surprised they actually didn't try pushing bottom now with this catapult up. I'd expect the Chen to rotate down here pretty soon before the catapult makes it to the tower and dies, as that'd be pretty easy to take a tier 1 tower against this Lone Druid. Lone Druid actually is going to have to run for his life here. Will Disruption hit? It's just barely not going to make it in time. Wow, Shadow Demon was just half a second earlier, they would have actually probably gotten a kill on the Lone Druid there, but regardless, Lone Druid is able to back up.
Blitz hits that arrow mid, and Starfall is able to get Astro down quite a lot of health there. Silence does miss, and Blitz will back out again, so there's constant harassment on the part of Blitz here. Yeah. Low Disruption comes down on Confused, though. Confused going to go down. Korea picking up the kill on the Brewmaster.
I think the entire reason I didn't actually check to begin with, because actually the Lone Druid came down so late, I assumed he didn't place down a ward. But I do see this counter ward here from the Radiant, so maybe they were just checking to be certain. I mean, but regardless, the lack of a ward there on the side, on the bottom lane in the Dire, is definitely what's costing this Lone Druid. He's playing way more aggressive than he should be, but meanwhile, actually going to go in the mid. The Silence is actually just a half second too late on Blitz, who is able to leak out of that Ice Imprisonment, and he will be just fine.
Yeah, Blitz up to 12 creep kills at the moment. He is 1-1-2. Taking a look at the creep kills right now, 26 creep kills for Korea bottom compared to the 7 of the Lone Druid. So doing a very nice job shutting Lone Druid down.
Meanwhile, though, the Queen of Pain is actually picking up a lot of farm top, and I was talking about how Queen of Pain can't really be effective counter push until she has Aghanims, but I guess if you do put her in a farming, not necessarily tri-lane, but the safe lane top with a support against a sacrifice lane, she does have the possibility to potentially get a very early Aghanims if that is what she ends up going for, which would make a fair amount of sense in this sort of push-heavy lineup coming out from Root.
Blitz getting harassed here. We'll be able to leap away and get away safe. We saw top Beastmaster trying to harass the neutral creep camp with his axes as much as he can, taking the farm away from the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, the Vengeful Spirit does already have level 4 though, which isn't too bad for support. I mean, comparatively, Shadow Demon is almost level 5, but they've had a lot more successful ganks. Shadow Demon's already been involved in 4 kills, so Vengeful Spirit actually is getting pretty good experience up here thanks to those pulls he's been managing. And the Beastmaster has been pretty shut down thanks to that ward on the Ancient Camp. So regardless, I mean, Epidemic is handling this top lane pretty effectively and handling everything regarding that. The problem has pretty much just been this bottom lane, which looks like he might be going down again. Soulcatcher actually does land on the bear this time, though, so I think the Lone Druid will get out just fine, yeah. Oh, wait, but the Ensnare actually does hit on the Shadow Demon. Wow, Shadow Demon almost going down to the tower. He's going to get TV back out by the Chen, though. Nice luck there, to be perfectly honest. Oh, and then Blitz trades himself again in the mid.
Yeah, meanwhile, Blitz did pick up Crystal Maiden, but was killed, though.
Yeah, Blitz playing really aggressive 1 versus 2. I mean, he got that early kill, and he's just kind of tried to transition it into more and more kills. I mean, 1 was with the gank, so it makes sense, but here going 1 versus 2, I didn't see exactly what happened there. I mean, he has a ward, so he had to know exactly what he was up against. I'm kind of surprised that he did go in there, obviously trading his life to get a kill on a support, and giving a kill to the Death Prophet. Certainly not worth it.
Yeah. Stun coming in on DDX here. Scream coming in there from Kaleo, and we'll pick up the kill.
Wow, kills just everywhere. Again, just continuing to manage this top lane, and the fact that the Beastmaster hasn't hit level 6 yet is pretty important. I mean, typically at this point in the game he wouldn't necessarily be level 6, but he'd at least be farming his Ancients. But actually, Chen going to come in here, go for a gank on the Death Prophet, but that AoE slow from the Crystal Maiden is making it really difficult. Shadow Demon is here in time, though. Soul Catcher going to land, arrow flying, not going to hit. Death Prophet taking a ton of damage, courtesy of that Soul Catcher. Ooh, 2 stacks of Shadow Poison, and that is going to be enough. Rana Arrow actually does finish it off. And meanwhile, Panda used his ult to get a kill on the Lone Druid bottom.
Yep.
Oh, and actually Queen of Pain running through the mid here, but it's just gonna ships passing in the night with the 3 Dire heroes, and we'll be able to blink out here in time if she does so desire. Actually not, oh, and wait, no, Vengeful Spirit trying to turn this back around, but great disjoint from Blitz there. And Shadow Demon is gonna get the disruption and Soul Catcher on Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit gonna take a ton of damage here. The right click's coming out, but Shadow Demon does not have his ultimate yet either, so he's not actually able to finish off the Vengeful Spirit, unless the Vengeful Spirit, foolishly enough, runs back in. But Test of Faith, even with Soul Catcher on, is not quite enough, and Vengeful Spirit will live for another day.
Very, very close there. We see Queen of Pain coming up here on DDX. DDX full health, though. He's not going to be able to go down to the Queen of Pain. Meanwhile, mid, now Confused, is out here. He's going to try to do what he can to get some more farm down here. Astro coming in as well. And we'll try to see if they're just going to try to push this lane.
Yeah, I mean, Death Prophet does have level 6. I mean, she's level 7 now, so with that ult coming out, they should be able to do a very significant amount of damage to this tower, if not take it down, courtesy of the bear tanking. We'll have to see if Root can mount some sort of a defense here. I mean, getting the mid Tier 1 tower is probably the most significant Tier 1 tower in the game. It just prohibits the mobility for the other team with those TP ganks from the mid. But looks like they are going to be forced back from the TP and from Shadow Demon.
Yep, stun coming in on Ethereum there. Will get nuked down, and Vengeful Spirit picking up the last hit.
Yeah, great turnaround and silence, and actually a
Nice
swap coming
swap
back in on Chen. Chen gets blocked by his own creeps trying to run into the juke spot there, and he goes down as well. So there is going to be continued little bit of push on the tower. Actually, the Lone Druid, oh yeah, I was going to say, kind of messing up there, could have resummoned his bear, but actually couldn't, it wasn't cooldown. So the Lone Druid is going to be without his bear, and very lonely for 50 seconds here.
Lonely.
You see what I did there.
Lone Druid.
Yeah. It's cheesy, but it works.
Yep, so Blitz, like you said, playing very aggressive. He's 3-2-2 at the moment. And we will see more of him later on if we do pick up a win here. I know we have a lot of Blitz viewers tuning in later on.
Oh,
arrow! Nice arrow there.
Great coordination there, and actually they're going to try to continue on this Death Prophet. Blitz needs to be really careful here, and actually does intelligently enough back off before Death Prophet can throw out another wave and end Blitz's life. Sorry, continue as you were saying.
I was saying, Blitz just woke up from a nap right now, so he hasn't tweeted yet, but I know a bunch of his viewers are going to be tuning in soon, so a bunch of Blitz viewers are going to be watching.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Very exciting player. He's a very good personality for esports, so it's fun to watch him certainly anytime. Looks like Root is going for a push on this top tier 1. Panda does not have his ultimate for 7 seconds and does not. Oh, he actually does have enough mana for it now. Crystal Maiden in a lot of trouble. Looks like the other TP was actually canceled. Yeah, I didn't see who exactly that was that was supposed to be TPing in, but Death Prophet has come in with a haste rune and her ultimate up. And if they can take down the Panda before his ultimate comes off, great disruption from the Shadow Demon there, and Panda is going to manage to pop out in his ultimate now, and this is going to be real trouble for the Death Prophet as the stun does land. Fire Panda doing a ton of damage. Yeah, Death Prophet goes down. Queen of Pain, big ult, he is going to finish off the Shadow Demon. Blitz actually really low HP, but disjoints the stun from Sasha. Sasha is going to be turned around, and will Blitz or will the Vengeful Spirit go down first? Oh, gonna die at the same time. Wow, what a trade.
And I just want to give props to Beatiz there for being able to ult. He really saved that Shadow Demon, or he really saved the Brewmaster with the help of that Shadow Demon there.
Yeah, I mean, that was just great coordination from the Panda's teammates there, or Brewmaster's teammates, for those that don't know why I'm referring to him as Panda. Oh, and actually, Queen of Pain, really questionable here, is just going to die. Being really greedy, saw 3 creeps she could get if she blinked in and screamed rather than continuing to run to the tower, and the Rexar was just like, okay, I have an ult, and you're going to die.
Exactly. We see that DDX was able to stack the Ancient Camp a little bit now, and what people don't know about that is when you play Brewmaster, if you stack this Ancient Camp as much as you can and just use your axes over time, you'll get so much experience and gold just from doing that. And a lot of players don't take advantage of that.
Not Brewmaster, but Beastmaster.
Or Beastmaster, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean, I knew what you were talking about, but just wanted to make sure for the viewers. But yeah, I mean, this is going to really kickstart his farm. He does have that Soul Ring, which will make this certainly much more easier than if he didn't. if he had a bottle mid, maybe it would make sense, but the Soul Ring definitely the most effective way to do this, and he'll be able to easily transition to his next item, which we'll have to see whether that's going to be maybe a Necrobook or a Pipe. Pipe would be pretty reasonable against the Queen of Pain Death Prophet CM, but I mean Necrobook, if they want to push, pretty reasonable as well. What do you think that he will decide to go for? I mean, you kind of know this team a little bit better than I do.
I mean, I could see the Necrobook coming out of him. We're just gonna have to find out though, because they are very unpredictable. They do like doing a bunch of unique different item builds, so just gonna have to find out. We see the mech almost finished here on Chen at the moment. Meanwhile, Beastmaster has his Soul Ring. Ephraim is just working on his boots of phase boots at the moment.
Yeah, the Panda actually already has drums and point booster picked up, so he's got a really nice farm. I mean, he was on that farming bottom lane, so that makes sense. But he's actually, I think, significantly ahead of the Queen of Pain in gold per minute now. Yeah, 400 gold per minute actually on the Panda, and only 318 on the Queen of Pain, so his farm has really been significant this game. And I would assume he will pick up the Blink before finishing the Aghanims, but I guess we'll have to see on that as well.
Looking at the experience right now, 3,500 experience in favor of Root Gaming, and about 4,500 gold lead for Root Gaming as well at the moment. So not too much, but definitely pays off early on.
Yeah, I mean, Epidemic was managing to claw back into the game a little bit, but that fight at top really just turned around. And actually, Queen of Pain going to get engaged on here by the Panda and the Beastmaster, and just instantly pops. Way too much burst damage coming out from Root's team here. Crystal Maiden wants to try to slow them down, but is going to be in a lot of trouble until her teammates TP in. Does have the Bear and Death Prophet here, but the Bear really still can't do too much in team fight. Soulcatcher coming out on the Vengeful Sphere. Vengeful Sphere, nice stun on the Panda before he's able to get Zolt off, but goes down regardless. Death Prophet is going to pop out her ult. Arrow missing on the CM, but CM goes down directly. Big ult from the Queen of Pain. Will blitz. Vitas go down. Vitas does die. Queen of Pain, though, in a lot of trouble. Has died twice now. I don't think that was a buyback, but I'm not really certain. Anyway, the Pandas are going in on the Death Prophet. Death Prophet going to die as well. And it's just the Bear left. And yeah, he's really not much by himself.
Double kill there for Brewmaster. Lone Druid on the run. Will he be able to get picked off? Axe is coming out from Brewmaster there. Nice entangle there coming in onto the Brewmaster as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to go down, but the one good thing he's doing by making them chase him around for this long is that they're actually not taking that top tier 1 tower, which is definitely good news for him. Yeah, here comes the Disruption Soulcatcher and a bunch of burst damage from his team. Actually, not so much burst damage from his team, but they don't really care because they know he has no escape mechanisms and no burst damage he can throw out of his own to actually turn that around on anyone, so they're just going to take their time. But they do save the tier 1 tower. Still, I think that was a 6-for-1 fight, so... Yeah, not so good for Epidemic regardless.
Yeah, looking at it right now, 1, 2, and 5 for Beatis, 5, 3, and 4 for Blitz, Ephraim 5, and 2, and 7 on the Shadow Demon, DDX 1, 1, and 8, and Root Korea 7, 0, and 5. Root Korea formerly of It's Ghost to Esports. Swap coming in there by Vengeful Spirit though, stun coming in, Queen of Pain gonna scream, and it looks like Blitz will go down. Queen of Pain picking up the last hit.
Blitz still just being a little bit too aggressive, but he doesn't have that ward in the mid anymore. Although it is daytime, so I would imagine that he had vision up there. I guess his range creep is just slightly down the hill, so he couldn't actually see up there, and they were able to pick him off with that swap. Which is just why it's so important for them to make sure that they do keep that mid ward up as long as they want to have Blitz farming in the middle. But not really too big of an issue for them. I'm sure they will muster up another push here soon enough. Now, Chen does have all 3 creeps up again, and they're just going to wait for that Panda ult, and then they will try to push down another tier 1 tower, which I don't really see any way that Epidemic can defend, unless they manage to get a pick off now beforehand with this Invis on the Queen of Pain.
Scream coming in from Queen of Pain there. Will she Sonic in 10 seconds coming up? And Vengeful Spirit coming in for the last hit with the stun.
Yeah, so that pickoff will actually delay the push just a little bit longer from Root. I mean, they'll have to probably wait for the Beastmaster to come back up and the Panda ult now before they consider pushing, which is just going to be slightly longer. It will give that Lone Druid more time to farm up, but his farm is just abysmal. And actually, Panda is going to go on him up here top. He's actually going to have to get an entangle here to survive, I think. He does have a lot of movement speed, but no, he's actually just going to go down. So, I don't know, playing really carelessly there, to be perfectly honest. He doesn't have No, he does have regular boots on himself, but only 1 point in Rabid, so, and none in his ult, actually, which is kind of unusual. I know some people prefer just a magic synergy when you're usually in maybe like a 1 versus 1 situation, because getting that extra right-click damage on the bear is a lot more harassment, a lot more last hits, but not having any points in the ult by level 9 now, especially in a situation like this, is pretty risky, and he just has no farm to show for it.
Exactly, and the Brewmaster 700 away from Aghanims at the moment. Ethereum trying to get away, trying to juke in and out of the woods here. Courier coming in, and we will see the ultimate come down on Vengeful Spirit here. Queen of Pain blinking in, and Disruption coming down. Roar from DDX, and Queen of Pain will go down.
Great play there. Great self-disruption followed up by the Roar. Great teamwork coming out from Root at this point. Really playing at a very high level in this game so far. And it's kind of unfortunate to see that Epidemic really doesn't have a lot to put up. Swap is going to come in, but Vengeful Spirit not following up with a stun immediately is going to give DDX time to at least react and Blitz. TP back in. Blitz is actually going to blink in with a ton of low HP heroes now. Starstorm will take out at least one. Nice lucky Root coming out from the bear there on the Root Gaming Blitz. But, I mean, I guess I shouldn't call it lucky every time, but it was a first hit. And yeah, Blitz is just going to have to back off. Does manage to pick up the Vengeful Spirit though, and this will be the tier 1 tower push. Chen actually is going to come in from behind here. Beat is being really aggressive, but isn't going to catch anyone, and he's going to have to send his creeps towards the tower now, but actually he's deciding not to do that as well. Has to run back down to be careful. I'm surprised he actually didn't send his creeps up to the tower and just run himself around there to put more pressure on it, but doesn't really matter. Epidemic can't really mount much of a defense here anyway.
Blitz at the top lane here. Starflame does have the haste bottled and will try to pursue Astro here as the Death Prophet will get away though with the help of Queen of Pain TPing in. But that mid tower will fall down for Root Gaming now.
Yeah, and they have no reason to stop here. They're going to keep going to tier 2. Like you said, the Aghanims is actually up on Panda now. So Panda has Aghanims ult level 14, which is going to be huge in any sort of team fight here. Meanwhile, Epidemic still has basically a completely useless hero. I mean, that Lone Druid, well, it's not completely useless, but until he has his Radiance, isn't really much. Disruption does come out. Queen of Pain gets a huge ult actually off, but the question is, will it be enough? Stun does come out on Beastmaster, but not on Blitz. Kind of a questionable decision there, as Beastmaster doesn't provide a lot after he's already gotten his ult off. We'll have axes again soon, and they will chase down this Vengeful Spirit. Meanwhile, though, the Panda is popping his ult on 3 Epidemic heroes back in the back end, but the Epidemic heroes are smart enough to actually just to dust up, which completely counteracts the Panda ult. Still, though, Vengeful Spirit does go down, and meanwhile, Beastmaster has chased down the Queen of Pain. So 2 heroes down for Epidemic, and the rest are going to be forced back by this Panda. And for those of you who don't know, or haven't seen this before, what exactly I'm referring to by saying that the smoke counteracts the Panda is the fact that the Panda's units are not, or the Panda ultimate minions are not actually heroes, they're units, so they don't actually trigger the removal of Smoke of Deceit. So if a Panda is chasing after you and he does not have friends nearby, you can actually pop a smoke and he will not be able to see you.
Yeah, very interesting. Mirana, triple bottle on Mirana at the moment.
I told you. Assume that's a little bit of trolling.
I told you, Blitz does some interesting stuff, man.
Yeah, that's something, all right. I mean, I guess that really, I mean, if you're going to discuss it as something other than an attempt at trolling, you would have to say that, I mean, it just signifies their desire to push so hard in this mid-game here. I mean, he's basically forsaking any farm for the next 20 minutes, essentially, just so that he can guarantee that he has enough regen to just keep going every time they push. And, I mean, yeah, he actually picks up a rune now, which normally would be enough for most people when they have a bottle, but here, since he has 3 bottles, he still has 2 more that he needs to fill up in the fountain. Does have his Yasha up already, though, as well, so I guess doesn't have no farm.
Yeah, 486 GPM for the Brewmaster at the moment, 340 on the Mirana. For Epidemic, 301 for the Death Prophet is their leader, 214 only right now for the Lone Druid, level 10.
Yeah, that's just a terrible game for Lone Druid. Just didn't really have the opportunity to get any farm up. Root did way too good of a job roaming around and constantly ganking him on that bottom lane, and he just hasn't been allowed any time to just sit there and farm, which has really hampered his game. I mean, he does have phase boots and boots on himself, and that's basically it, and he's had those phase boots for, I think, like 10 minutes now. Has just been going down a lot in these team fights, or if not going down, just been forced back and not really been able to do anything. a possibility, I guess. Yeah, we see a Scream coming out on Roche here. I'm not really sure if Epidemic was just taking a look. Maybe they thought that Root had smoked in there and just wanted to be certain. Or I guess he was trying to catch that Hawk, which would signify that they actually want to try to stealing Roche. If they could actually catch a break here for just a minute, stealing Roche would be a great way to kind of, well, not really completely get back in this game, but at least to get a foothold back in. But it doesn't look like Root is going to give them that time. And actually, Ult and Soulcatcher coming out on Death Prophet here from the Shadow Demon, but they're not actually going to follow up. Maybe just forcing some TPs, or maybe going to turn this back around. Panda does have his blink, blinks over to the side. Disruption coming up. The slant Thunderclap is only going to catch one hero, but it doesn't matter. Vengeful Spirit and Crystal Maiden both going to go down so quickly, way too low HP to sustain that kind of damage. And this is going to be a tier 2 tower taken down by Root.
Yep, and Korea just playing amazing right now on that Brewmaster, able to really blink over, be able to take out both Crystal Maiden and Vengeful Spirit with his little Thunderclap.
Yeah, and looks like Root is not done here. I mean, they still have a few more seconds of the Pandal. It's going to end now, but they've still got 3 Chen creeps and double damage rune on their Mirana, plus 2 more bottles, so no reason not to hang around here. Tier 3 tower going to go down. Queen of Fang gets an ult off, but Beastmaster is going to roar into a nice arrow from Blitz. Death Prophet in a lot of trouble with that Soul Catcher, just taking a ton of damage, maxing the Soul Catcher from the Shadow Demon. Lone Druid is in on the other side now, stunned from Vengeful Spirit, maybe going to send Lone Druid's knife, but no, a blink in from Blitz is going to be enough to finish him off. Vengeful Spirit actually swapping Blitz into the tier 4 towers, but Panda Blinken and Thunderclap is going to be enough to finish the Vengeful Spirit off, and that is all 5 of Epidemic down. Rack's going to be down on bottom, probably not anywhere else because they've only got 2 Chen creeps left, and well, how many bottle charges? 4 bottle charges left. Maybe they, no, GG's going to come out anyway, so not even needing to take additional racks.
Alright, so that's the game here. We'll get another one for you right after this, but Root going to be moving on into the round of 16. And they're going to be taking on the winner of Gamer University and This Hero So Forest.
Yeah, should be exciting. I mean, if we see any more unconventional play and high action aggression coming out from them in the next game, should be fun games to watch, just like this one was. I mean, this one was a bit one-sided, but still, we're looking at 44 kills at 24 minutes. It's certainly a lot.
And big props to Korea there, 12-0-9 on the Brewmaster.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I don't know, just, I guess you can't, I mean, Brewmaster's normally played in a lane where he's allowed to be aggressive or in a solo, but this just shows how effective he can be in the mid-game if you do give him those nice farm and or levels early on. Shadow Demon really didn't take a whole lot because he was able to roam around with that Chen and pick up levels otherwise, so, yeah, great play overall by Root and a good game to watch. Thanks to the teams for playing.
We'll be back with more Gamer University Open number 2 with Fire Flash and Harry from Dota Live coming at you next. Stay with us, guys.